Hey, yo, what's going on? Hydra Bob came out this week. He may not be the best card. He's definitely not the worst card, but let me give you a deck that's going to help you guys complete the weekend missions so you don't have to use Hydra Bob anymore. Hydra Bob is a 1/4 that moves after you have snapped this turn. If both players do snap on the same turn, Hydra Bob moves once. If both players have already snapped in this game when you play Hydra Bob, he does not move at all. So, you can kind of play around the movement of Hydra Bob just a little bit, depending on what turn you play him on, but he's not as bad as you think. Please do not spend resources on this card, but if you were to get him, it's not worst case scenario. Keep in mind, when Martyr first came out, Martyr also was a 1/4, and then got buffed to a 1/5. So, there is potential for Hydra Bob to become a 1/5, but he's honestly not doing that bad win rate rise or cube rate rise, because normally if you were to snap in some of these situations, people just retreat. So Hydra Bob right now has got a pretty good win condition. But anywho, let me show you guys the deck that we're going to be showcasing today, made by my friend notmydance. Alrighty, here is the deck right here. As always, the deck code is going to be down in the description below. I talked to Dance, of course, before recording this video, and we looked over some replacements. This is called a priority gaming deck, not just a Bob down deck. But if you don't have Hydra Bob, you could always do Titania or the Lizard. You're using this for priority. That's the main usage of Bob in this list, so you can get off a late game Goliath. If you don't have Makari, you also could do Squirrel Girl, so you can just have stats on the board, because this is kind of like a tempo control list. You're trying to just have priority throughout the majority of the game. If you don't have Supergiant, unfortunately, this is not the deck list for you. You're using Supergiant in this list to be able to throw down some of these tech cards. You know, your Shadow King, your Negasonic Teenage Warhead, your Cosmo, in order to stop a lot of these Airstream situations when it comes down to Blob. It comes potentially down to some of these Darkhawk stuff. That's why you have your Negasonic for the tempo priority. Daredevil is also like your bread and butter on this list. Daredevil with Supergiant really enables you to know what your opponents are playing after the Supergiant, or just having that intel on turn 5 is so good. I feel like we take that for granted all the time, but Daredevil is an absolutely fantastic card in this list, and honestly should be played more overall, just with how turn 5s are going right now as a snap or a retreat condition, or just an overall win condition. Also, if you do not have Goliath, that's also going to be a very tough card to replace. This is probably not the deck for you in that sense, because it is a Supergiant Goliath like as the main engines of this list. I would play a different type of control list, maybe some Storm or Professor X shenanigans, where you still have your movement cards to be able to get into those lanes. Like if you, since you have a Jeff here, you have a Nocturne, and a Nocturne here. They just aren't going to be the same type of list, but you could probably do some control aspects if you do not have those. You just make an entire list separately. But let's go ahead and break down each card's abilities individually. So starting off first, we do have Hydra Bob, like I was saying, is a 1/4. He only moves if you or your opponent snapped this turn. If there's no snap this turn, he does not move. After you've played him, if someone snaps, he also will move. So it's a gamble for both you and your opponent. You, if you don't know what lane he's going to land into, and for your opponent, if they think they can just win off a Hydra Bob move. So it's something to keep in mind. It makes him tricky, but he's still not Martyr going out of his way to deliberately lose you the game if possible. So if there are no snaps, Hydra Bob stays in place. Maybe I'm just coping, but like I don't think he's really all that bad. But there's definitely a variety of cards like I would use over him. Like you can still just use Titanium over him, and Zero honestly is really solid over him as well. Not in this list, but another list. And then of course we have Daredevil. Daredevil lets you see what's happening on turn 5. The only way to stop Daredevil is to destroy Daredevil, Daredevil to be in deep space, or Daredevil to get Red Guardian. So, like, being able to have that turn 5 intel is so good. And I feel like in most matchups, it really lets you know what your opponent's going to be doing next, or at least be able to kind of just assume what's about to happen. So it's a really good snap or retreat condition going into the play. On the turn of play, when your opponent plays a card down, it's just absolutely incredible, and I definitely think he is underutilized right now. And then we have Shadow King in this list. We do have a couple different tech options in this list to be able to stop a lot of the Airshim shenanigans that we're seeing running around, because Airshims, you know, is still super popular. So Shadow King resets the cards back to their base power, resets a Blob back to 0, resets a Deadpool back to 1, resets a Sage back to 0, resets negative cards back to their original base power, which is absolutely fantastic. We don't have Shang-Chi in this list, so this is our main tech card in order to reset to give us the power we need back in our lanes. Then we have White Widow. Of course, White Widow is an on reveal at a Widow's Kiss to your opponent's side of the board. The Widow's Kiss is a 0, -4 when it's ongoing. Your opponent has to fill this location. The cool thing about some of these tech options in this list, which we're going to go over here in a second, if you play Negasonic under a Supergiant, or if you play a Negasonic with priority on turn 6 on a White Widow lane, where your opponent is trying to fill the lane, Negasonic will destroy that card, and the Widow's Kiss will stay -4. So, because your opponent will be trying to fill the lane, it's a different tech option you could do in order to negate 4 power on your opponent's side of the board, wherever the Widow's Kiss is. You have Jeff in this list. Jeff is another just great fundamental piece in some of these control move archetypes. So this allows you to be able to get into any location you would like using Jeff, even if you are locked out, or being able to play into any location. And then you have Negasonic. An enemy card is played here. It gets destroyed. This works the best with priority late game. You could use this also without priority on turn 5, so your opponent can't play the card they want to on turn 6 on that lane. It's great with Daredevil. It's great with Supergiant. It's just very cheeky, and having priority, it really enables you to maximize this card. We have Cosmo on this list. Cosmo does not allow on reveals to happen. Another great card to be able to throw under a Supergiant, be able to just use with Daredevil, or even just a tempo Cosmo against some of these destroy decks. Allows you to make sure that they do not get to keep destroying the cards whenever they would like. Get Blob big. Use any tech cards themselves to maybe negate what you're trying to do. Just an overall, I feel like another underutilized card at the moment. Then we have Red Guardian over here, which is an on reveal. Afflict the lowest enemy card here, lowest powered enemy card here with -2, and remove its text, which is great against these Ironmans and these Tribunals. Can be great against Wongs. Can be great against Ravonas, Thenas, Angelas. You could snipe some of these cards like potentially a Kitty. Another just great tech piece we're using. This is going to be more of a tempo play opposed to something you hide under Supergiant, unless you are for sure having priority going into your final turn, where you can use this to mitigate an Iron Man late in the game, or just turn the tide with definitely more of these ongoing cards is the target for Red Guardian. And then, of course, we have Makari. Makari, you do not have to play this card, which is really nice. She just runs onto the board herself. So, using Makari in this deck enables you to be able to get into maybe some of these locations you're not able to get into. And it's a free play for you as well. This is something just to give you an extra 4 power on the board. And I like the usage of this card. I feel like Makari, we kind of overhated because her ability was kind of just boring, maybe. But being able just to get 4 power on the board without having to play any energy is actually pretty freaking solid. And then, of course, we do have Nocturne. Nocturne is probably one of the best mid-range cards in the game. We're putting her in deck lists over Jeff because she does have that extra power. Yes, she does cost 1 more, but since any movement cards can move into a Professor X lane now, we're liking the Nocturne value over the Jeff value because Jeff was the only card that can move into Professor X lanes. Being able to change locations is really solid as well. Being able to have that control like you're trying to do in this list. And that 5 power is a premium stat line that allows you to be able to swing some priority into your favor going into some of these final turns to be able to set up your Goliath, or be able to maximize your Supergiant, which does not allow the cards that were played on the next turn to reveal until the end of the game. This allows you to have the control I was talking about, to be able to Goliath, to be able to Negasonic, to be able to maximize your Daredevil, to do all of these tech options. Supergiant really enables you to make sure you can get some of these combo pieces going and stop the combo pieces of your opponent, because this isn't necessarily a combo list. This is more of a tempo control list. As Dance was calling it, it is a prioritizing gaming deck, because you're wanting to have priority going into every situation, leading you to follow up with the big fart cloud Goliath, which removes all text from all enemy cards that are unrevealed here. This allows you to stop combos, stop power gain, stop counters. This card right here is also, I would feel, underutilized at the moment. As a focal tech piece, this card can go crazy. Having priority, knowing what lanes your opponents are playing on with Daredevil, stopping opponents' combos, so even if you don't have priority on turn 6, Alioth still turns off the unrevealed cards from Supergiant because they don't reveal until the end of the game. A just great fundamental tech card in this list, and one of Dance's favorites. We're going to go ahead and jump into some gameplay from stream from yesterday. This was featured on Snap Judgment's podcast, their deck video yesterday. If you guys missed that, this is the gameplay from that. We're part of the stream team, so we're going over this deck that was featured. And then, of course, watch Father Newman's video tomorrow. But I'll see you guys at the end of the video. We have Hydra Bob on curve. We got a snap. We got this. We got this. And Hydra Bob survives the middle and will not move anymore. Will not move anymore. So love this for us over here. We have the Daredevil. I'm here for this. Nova. With the White Hot Room. We're going to do this. Maybe we get some... Let them have it, Kiwi. Kyera. Let me do this. I have to drop the seed while he's not on the stream, but Crossman wants to be a mod for you so damn bad. Just take it into consideration if you're ever looking for a mod. Yo, I appreciate the info, Air Coco. I appreciate the info. Please, nothing crazy. Oh, we get crazy stuff over here. The Shadow King and an Alioth is not great. Oh my word! Now they just play Blob wherever and Blob can't die. So, you hate to see it. Great freaking Doc Ock tech. Not looking great for ya boy. Baba boy. So, super, super unfortunate here for us, as well as the extra card draw they got from the Abbey. But, come on, Zus. What do we have here? Black Knight and Sauron. Okay. I think we just float this. We float this for our next play. Cool. We keep priority still. And then it's going to be Negasonic and Cosmo middle. And Hydra Bob landed in the perfect spot for us. I think this is pretty solid. We can't get any Negasonic value middle. Sauron negates Blob being unable to move, but like Blob can still do his absorbing ability, I believe. What's up, Hendrik? Welcome in. If they blob here, they win. If they do something over here, they win. They just ignore the middle Shung Chisel and Roge. Okay.
Victory.
Oh, Blob's entire text gets removed with Sauron? So they didn't even get to play Blob there? Oh, wowzers. Yeah, I think Ajax is still holistically a pass unless you don't have Darkhawk and Beta Ray Bill. Then I would also say that's an open week. I'm just thinking any week where you have maybe 0 to 1 card of that card coming out is more of a really good week to open, just holistically. I am also currently working on a Series 4, Series 5 buy guide that I will post in the Discord as well. That I will be editing, and as cards come out and series drops happen, for us all to look at and to give a better idea of what I think you guys should be getting and what you guys shouldn't be getting. And these are all, of course, according to my opinion, not 100% like what you should do. It's because it's all opinionated. It's what you figure, you know? So Just keep that in mind. I will be doing that so we can, and something we can all discuss. I'll add a segment of it in the Discord too. So yeah. Absorbing Man, Nakia. Okay. What do we got going on over here? I have priority. With the priority and Daredevil, which Daredevil is so good right now, you guys. I'm telling you what, especially with this list, because it has Supergiant in here. You get a lot of just extra value of intel, being able to set up these tech cards in the right way. Cosmo to stop any ongoing maybe blobs. You're seeing an Airshim, stop some potential combos. And then you have Negasonic in here as well to destroy some of these cards with your opponent trying to set some stuff up. It just makes a lot of sense. You have a great night, Eddie. I appreciate you hanging out, my friend. Like, this is Gwenpool right here. I can go Cosmo into White Widow and get some immediate value. Gwenpool's not going to go off, and I'm also going to get the Raft draw, which is perfect for us here. And then I go Helicarrier, Negasonic, Red Guardian on the right, just for the extra power. I'm going to go ahead and move Jeff over here too. If I look at this, okay? If I look at this, if they play a Silver Surfer on the left, they are going to get +2 power just with Nakia. So they're going to be at 11. I'm at 11 over here, so I'm actually going to keep Jeff on the left. Just so I can win that lane. Negasonic's going to kill the next card they play. I have Helicarrier as well to stop some power. That is Mysterio, Nico, and Sinister. We got to look at it. That is the real Mysterio over there. I do lose, I think. It's not the real Mysterio, so that's good for us. There we go. That's how we do it. We got it. Victory. No Hydra Bob value here, but this is still us showing how to control the board with this list. We got a decent hand over here. We have the Supergiant. We have the Daredevil. We don't have the Supergiant, but we do have the Daredevil. So we got that going for us. Do not open for Hydra Bob. I'll tell you guys right now. Do not open for Hydra Bob. Please. Save your caches. Save your caches, my friends. We're also going to play Red Guardian on Patriot here. What are some replacements in this deck? For which cards, Bug? For which cards? See, I use Agatha Harkness, but I get it at the bottom of my deck so I don't draw her. Interesting. Very interesting. Warpath, Gambit, oh, Negasonic dies. Ooh, that's pretty freaking good. I tell you what. We are going to go... You know what? Let's get a little movement over here. I'm going to go... Jeff into Hydra Bobberonis and see if we can get some sauce. Get a little sauce over here. Mid does seem pretty generous. We got some Shadow King shenanigans over here. I do have Gwenpool. I do. I bet Hydra Bob gets something crazy. I wouldn't be surprised. I would not get surprised. The updated store. Oh no. Yeah, I wish they had some more stuff going on, Michael. I do agree. Do not get Hydra Bob, guys. I'm telling you guys right now. What do we got? We have Grandmaster and Mockingbird. So... I go... Jeff. Shadow King. I snap so my Bob moves. Snap. And then we're good. See, they're afraid of the Bob move. Victory. They're so afraid of Bob moving, they don't want it. No, they're afraid of this Shadow King and Daredevil. That's what it is. I'll snap and let Hydra Bob move. Let's do it. It's silver. Oh, no, this is Proving Grounds, yeah. Here is the link for the deck over here. Bob only moves one time because we both snap and there's no other possible option for us to snap here. So Bob and Makari are stuck on the right lane. We get Tribunal. Ooh, this could be cheeky. We do have Jeff, Negasonic, and Supergiant in our hands, so this is looking pretty good. You never got a synergetic card from Camp Lehigh? Hey. Camp Lehigh do be cooking like that sometimes, huh? I'm going to go Daredevil and Supergiant here. Hope Summers. We're going to go Sugi, and then we have Negasonic and White Widow, so this can be pretty good. Who's 10 times better than the Wolfsbane for the same cost? Who we talking about, Rome? Who we got? Oh, Sage? Oh, I like Sage. Sage is good. Mysterio, Mysterio, Mysterio. Kitty Pryde. And we do keep priority. What are we getting coming down, my friends? This is going to be some great Negasonic value, by the way. You think Sage nerf? I don't know. I don't think you need... I mean, it'd be interesting if they nerf Sage. I think she's very balanced as is. I think she... Because her conditions are different than a lot of cards. And I feel like it's just a lot of Ravonna stuff we've seen is why you're also seeing an influx of Sage. But I don't know. I don't know if you need to nerf Sage. She feels pretty balanced and just really competitive. What do we got? I mean, look. Here's Sage right here, and there's armor. And I always Negasonic. I keep priority, and then I have White Widow as well. This is gonna feel really good. And then, I mean, I think we just play for these two lanes here. We win middle, and then it's all about what's happening here on the left. Do they play for right? If they don't play for right, we're in a good spot. We beat the real Mysterio if the real Mysterio's middle. But hey. What would they do to say? Do you think they make her like a... Do they make her instead of +2, they give her like +1? Is that what we're thinking? Swatch. Jeffrey. Hello, Sorcerer. What is up? I wonder if they would do something with Airshot. There we go. And there was the 4 power in the middle instead. Bob value, you guys. Bob value on turn 1 with Makari getting that +4. There we go. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed what you've seen, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe if you're new. We'll be back again on Monday with my favorite discard deck. Until the next time, my friends.